Oh my god, is that one of the misplay mercenaries?
You already know.
Jacket looking fresh.
Kind of chilly out there, you know?
We've literally just had the most burning hot days of summer.
These things are sweltering. So, like you've probably seen from the other 2 videos that came up before this, me, Marcio, and Trix, Misplay Mercs, and our boss, who was watching on one of the sides, did the 3v3 at UK Games Expo. Lovely best-of-1 format, ran really smooth. And we came second. You've seen Trix on Bears, you've seen Marcio on Reboot. So here is the Crossheart list. Start with the bottommost part. Yellow Pikmon still. We are now playing one of the cards that would like red Pikmons in the form of Sparrow, but I am still a firm believer of I am building Crossheart for worst case scenarios to be able to still play, and this lets you draw on empty board. And I think drawing on empty board is so important because if you're on empty board, the chance that there's a Tamer in deck is still very high, so you need to draw on a Tamer to try to get out of it. On to the big guys first, because they are the lifeblood of the deck. We're playing for Mr. Theme Song himself, Cross 7, and 4 of Mr. Comic Book EX6. EX6 is still exceptionally good. Anytime you see something that would float, you get to say, I don't want to deal with that. The board-wide shrink means checking security into things like scrambles is less annoying because whatever pops out will just get eaten. It eats like the app force and stuff. He's just very good. Also, he has reboot, so he actually, after doing his thing, gets to block. And Alliance means that he can swing over like unaffected things like Vortexes by getting big enough to just collide with them. Very good card. But this is everything I ever wanted out of Crossheart to do again, because we are now back on a robot with a theme song. Both of these guys will come down for -2 per material, so if you have all materials 1, because this has Starmon in it, this has Starmon next to it. This card does bot deck say things smaller than it when digivolving when attacking on play. And unsuspends. Both parts of that are optional, so as a result, you can choose to decline the effect when you first do it, so that way when you swing, you can do it immediately. This means we have a robot that is not just an on-play do a thing and maintains value every, like, the turns after he comes down. He's very strong. The big thing he does, though, is that because he uses we're using the EX6 materials for the most part, this means that we can't use material save, because we're not the right names most of the part, because he calls to the originals, but the retrains are the originals. His all turns lets him super save 4 of them, and play 1 of them out. And the play 1 out has recontextualized every one of the EX6 pieces into the most fucked up saw trap. If your opponent cannot de-digivolve, cannot suspend, and cannot become unblockable, they will have to deal with the Cross 7 saw trap, and it's the funniest thing to jump scare people with. The other thing he does that's really important is he evolves over Crossheart level 6s for 2, so you can use multiple X7s, because one of the problems is that before, if you had lots of robots but not much material, you couldn't do much. Multiple X7s can use the same sources for value, and can then float the X7s on opponent's turn. It's all very strong. This card's insane. On to materials. We'll do them in roll call order. We're doing 5 Omni Shouts, 4 of Omni Shoutmon, 4 of the GOAT. He's still everything you ever could want in life. I watched the last profile. I love Omni Shoutmon. This one got a little bit better. With the hybrid decks running around, they play Floodgates, and this is one of your premier outs to Floodgates. But also, this is a recontextualized by the float off of X7, so this can clear 2 bodies that are very small after the X7 explodes. So he's very good. This is a Z Greymon that his rule box treated as Crossheart. The card could be a vanilla after that, and he would still be the best Z Greymon because he's blue and his rule box Crossheart. But instead, he is a functional plus 6 KDP all turns inherit. For a deck with collision, piercing, and blocker, this is unbelievable. Your robots are now 19 and 18 base, and the 18 base EX6 is before collision. He's insane. Also, he on-play pops thing with the least sources, which again, when you eject off Cross 7, he pops something. He's unbelievable. You no longer need to play the blue-black Z that came out with EX6 because he's not tagged, and you don't have to play DX anymore because this one is tagged, so like all the roll compression in the world. He's perfect. Atler Ballistamon is still a bitch-ass motherfucker, but he is another color, he's another 2-cost reduction, and he does give blocker. On when digivolving, I did not do the entire weekend, but he's 2-cost reduction and a blocker inherit.
The most function card ever.
Yeah. He got better. So, obviously, since Atler sucks, green is good to find, blah, 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 2-cost reduction, blah, 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 blah. Combination of Cross 7 and the promo that we got makes resolving multiple Jaeger Dorlumons over the course of the game, very doable. And single stack decks, after they promote, if you can't clear it for whatever reason, Jaeger Dorlumon stunning it, either on your turn by playing it out, or on their turn by having to cross 7, because he can eject the Jaeger, which triggers the Jaeger, which then stuns something, is one of the most consistent ways to slow a game down to a pace where your Tamers start generating too much value for your opponent to win. This card is unbelievable. Volder, his little, Venus Quartz that he does to a single target it's so strong. It's also a kind of protection that things that, unless you are true blue unaffected, it's very hard to not get clipped by this. He's unbelievable. Raptor is still Raptor. She's your Searcher. She's your Collision Inherit. Purple is a unique color. She's a little bit better now as well, because since Cross 7 calls for original names, we are allowed to play Little Sparrow as well, so sometimes you get to do the Little Sparrow into Raptor combo. Trashing things as well got even better. This card's very good. Also, if your Cross 7 dies and there's nothing else really to do with it, you can just spit Raptor out and search. We're only on 2 Shooting Star now, for the kind of same reason as Raptor, where Cross 7 can use either Starmons, and we're playing less EX6s, so you don't have to find Shooting Star or lose all of your damage anymore. But he's a good float off of Cross 7 because of the all turns, and he's a good thing to put under him because it's another shrink. So he's still consistent. He's still very good, but we have better things that we can put under, because there's another Starmons that was not intended for this Cross 7. That's all the big materials. I don't think you need any more copies of any of the individual names. This is enough. I am a big believer in 5 Omni Shouts, because this is... Your robots work if they're missing any of these guys. They don't work if you're missing this guy. You have to find an Omni Shoutmon. Little guys. Hail to the Once Future King. You can still use them for Omni Shout loops. The on delete is still sometimes your sackiest way to run away with a game, and in best of 1 format that our 3v3 was played in. Sacking into Tamers was just an unbelievable amount of free advantage. He's still really good. Also, when if Cross 7 ejects this Omni Shoutmon, you can Digicross one of these from hand or under a Tamer to make a rush body for an extra swing. And if only there were a way to on-demand make your Cross 7 eject. But yeah, 4 Shoutmon. I am not playing the EVO reduction Shoutmon anymore, because we now actually have reason for other names. We're playing 2 of the Evolve Sparrowmon and 2 of BT10 Starmons. Evolve Sparrow just means that we have 2 more copies of Sparrowmon, which makes making Cross 7 easier. Sometimes she gets to do the magic trick where she evolves. If she does evolve, she can collide with Floodgates, which is good, because it's nice to not be under a Solarmon, whatever. But the actual criminal from this new lineup is this Starmons, when attacking draw of your Shoutmon tagged, is not once per turn. And Cross 7 gets up, and then if you draw into another Cross 7, you can evolve that, and then swing again and draw another card. So that you can, using these 2, you can draw a large number of your deck to make up for however many material just came from hand. It's very strong. These level 3s, we used to be on 10, and the last one was an Ukomon. And I still think Ukomon is a very reasonable inclusion, but Ignitemon has acquired 2 new magic tricks since the last time Crossheart was on this channel. The first is his interaction with X7. This is how you force X7 to eject, because the only thing that he has to not be taken off board by is exactly a Digicross. If you take him off board with any of your own effects, he still floats. So swing Cross 7 twice, and then swing Ignite, pop the Cross 7, will let it eject stuff, which gets you your material back to make a new Digicross, but also lets you eject Omni Shoutmon, Digicross Shoutmon, swing for damage, eject Jaeger, stun something, eject Zeeg, pop something, eject Sparrow, search. It's very strong. The other thing he does is we are still playing 5 level 4s, so you sometimes get to evolve over Ignite, and if you do, when you play by effect all turns, you gain a memory, which has both magic trick where if X7 dies and he floats, you get a memory. If EX6 plays Shooting Star, you gain a memory. But more realistically, if you combo him with our cool promo Tamer, you can get 1-cost discounts on everything you play out. The 10 rookies were enough. Crossheart is this deck where, you need 1 or 2 of these guys to show up to work early so you can get draw off of your Tama, but then everything else is fine. I did kind of miss the Shoutmon that evolves for 1 less, but we cut one of the level 4s in the Shooting Starmon, so we weren't evolving as much, so it's fine. These guys did their job. Tamers. We're playing 3 BT10 Psyche and 4 Trio Tamer for Tamers that can Digicross.
Oh, show the sleeves.
Oh yeah, shoutouts King Kai, Hopper and Hare, please commission, buy nice things. Shoutouts to Gurren Lagann, shoutouts to Robots, big ups Robots, I love Robots. So we're playing 7 Tamers that can Digicross. On play Searcher, BT Sensei, he's the GOAT. He even got better because Zeke has now decided to quit being difficult and has joined Crossheart officially. Even if he's on a temp higher, it is what it is. He's got the badge. It's all that matters. You can find him. So digs for your pieces that you need when you need to find them and can digicross. This, in tandem with the Blitz Taiki, is how you see so much of your deck, because it's start of main load, 1 gain 1 draw 1, but this one also digicrosses. So these are your lifeblood of making sure your deck keeps functioning. The ideal hands you're looking for is always like 4-cost Tamer plus Rookie. And the other 4-cost Tamer, of course, is Mr. Blitz himself. This changes how your attack timings work, but also does the same function as this. The attack timing changes that matter is it lets you slam cross 7, decline the on play, tap Taiki, make it swing, do the when attacking to force interactions to make him into a reboot blocker that clears 2 bodies, 1 by bot decking, 1 by collision piercing. These two interact very favorably, but you only ever really need to see one of these to make your board unfair. Whereas you don't have to see one, but you'd really like to see a Digicross Tamer. Otherwise, the game becomes much harder. But the other thing, and the promo Tamer I kept alluding to that most people probably know exists, is Katone Amano. This card changes Crossheart math in such a fucked way, where the level 1 interaction of Katone Amano is if you put the robot under Katone, and then you tap Katone and play the robot out, that's the last 1 cost that both of these two would be if you have all materials, which makes robot cost 0. Robots costing 0 is exceptionally strong because you're in Crossheart, you do not have a mem setter, so the memory you are passed to every turn changes, both based on how many of these you've seen and what your opponent passes you. So robots costing 0 is such a big deal for letting you play extenders after you do them, and keeping turn always. The other thing Katone does is like the next level 1 play, is Katone lets you loop material if something happens to them, because every turn you get to take a Crossheart or Blue Flare from hand or trash, stick it under, and then if you're 7 or fewer, you draw. This lets you keep up material that you find, both things that are checked in security and things that get source stripped, or if your regular save robot gets bot decked or something, you can get your material back if the stuff falls out from underneath. Very good way for looping stuff. The last level of Katone bullshit is Jaeger Dorlumon. If you have found a Katone Amano and a Jaeger Dorlumon for 6 memory every turn, you can Venusmon, Quartzmon a single stack. And some decks just aren't equipped to not have the level 6 or 7 that they put all their effort into, like, stuck on the board forever. So if you just hostage their boss monster for however many turns until you find a convincing out either to their security or to their body, you can just do this forever, because every time they clear the Jaeger, you get your stuff back. And if they don't clear the Jaeger, you can just swing it into something to have it kill itself or whatever. Like, it's very good. Katone play Jaeger is like a very, very solid, annoying plan B this deck's allowed. And then the final cards, the final 2 of...
What can we do with that 1 memory that we didn't have before?
Cross 7 is a multicolored red Digimon that unsuspends. If you fire rocket the Cross 7, he does 4 damage. And in Crossheart, you are almost always going to get 1 free damage off of throwing one of these morons' face off of the power of Pikmons, making you draw, which means that fire rocket plus Cross 7 empties your opponent's security, and then any number of rush plus blitz or just even rush keep turn bodies kills your opponent. It's your jump scare card that like makes your opponent go from I'm safe to I am always in danger of dying to something stupid. And because of the level of draw we get, both from the Starmons that can draw into it, the Shoutmons when they loop with themselves, as well as just things that are swinging with Pikmons, and the deep draw from these 10 Tamers, you have a very high amount of like filter. So at the start of your turn, you are likely to find one of these over the course of a game. And if you do, it's just an untraceable amount of additional damage. It's very hard to play around. Also, it kills blockers in security, which didn't come up, but is exceptionally funny. Sometimes Vortex just dies, and you didn't have to do anything. But that's Crossheart. Obviously, this was a best of 1 format, which changes the math on things. And like Marcio said in his profile, one of the appeals of our 3v3 like composition was it was 3 very fast decks that are hard to adapt to, which I think did present itself as a strength in my deck during my run, because game 1s against Crossheart are very stressful, because I am putting a lot of pressure onto board, forcing my opponent to play with me, and then if we are in the mud and I have a Katone, I am allowed pretty much infinite access to the same play every turn, and my opponent has to find something new to do every turn, which can lead to them running out of resources. The only thing I wish I had, but I don't think it would have improved the deck, is Volderarm. I still think he's good, but the change in color to cross 7 and losing his yellow coloring is kind of the death knell to that. But other than that, I think this is cross art. Like, X7 has changed everything. Zeke has changed everything. The two of them combined are an unbelievable breath of life into the strategy, and I cannot stress enough how much fun it has become.
Anything else?
Shoutouts to the team. Shoutouts Misplay Mercs. Shoutouts Trix. Shoutouts Marcio. We are cross art.